Welcome to this Saturday Travel and History Tip, and we are continuing on the Oregon Trail, 1843 to 1857. In the last Saturday Travel and History Tip, we took you to South Pass City and this quaint, historic place. And we mentioned Atlantic City and this loop road that took you out into the mining district. Open mine shafts can be dangerous, and most of the time they are blocked off, but you can certainly peer in. But today, we're going to the top of the pass. The Oregon Trail enters Wyoming at Torrington, follows the North Platte River to Casper, and then leaves the North Platte River heading 30 miles to the Sweetwater River. The overlanders would cross the Sweetwater River 9 times before leaving it at the Great Divide. The Immigrant Trail crosses the all-important South Pass and leaves Wyoming near Cokeville. I have mentioned the National Park Service guide is a tremendous help and fun way to follow the trail across Wyoming. In 1832, Captain Benjamin L.E. Bonneville led a 20-wagon supply train across South Pass, blazing the first wagon track. The pass is not a defined traditional pass, but rather a 100-mile climb from Independence Rock through a 12-mile wide valley over the Great Divide. The pass was a dream come true, since the trail riders attempted to follow the path of least resistance between Independence, Missouri, and the Willamette Valley in Oregon Territory. This was the halfway point of the dusty excursion, and it was so gentle it often went unnoticed. High clearance vehicles are recommended. Do not attempt to turn onto the original wagon trail segment when the road is wet or when rain threatens. The road is closed in the winter. The South Pass is a 20-mile wide, gentle sloping gap in the Rocky Mountains. It opened the West to immigration by providing a good wagon route over the Continental Divide. At the overlook, you will find many signs that give information about these travelers. The trail over South Pass is a transportation corridor which served many purposes. Here you are on top of the world. From where you're standing, South Pass doesn't look all that remarkable. Compared to the rugged Wind River Mountains, it can easily be recognized as a type of gateway. Nevertheless, crossing the Continental Divide into Oregon country was a trek for all westward bound travelers, and many described their feelings about the events. In 1852, Lucy Rutledge Cook, a young woman with California fever, wrote, "This morn we arrived at South Pass, after which all water we see will be running to the Pacific, so we are now on the other side of the world." The landscape looks like a puzzle. Even after the rediscovery of South Pass in 1824, it was years before the route was used extensively. Fur trapper trader William Sublette brought a small caravan of wagons to South Pass in 1828. While his party did not take wagons over the pass, they demonstrated the feasibility of using them. In 1836, a Christian missionary party headed by Dr. Marcus Whitman and his wife Narcissa bravely set out to reach the Willamette Valley. Eliza Spaulding and Narcissa Whitman were the first white women of European heritage to enter present-day Wyoming and the first to cross the Continental Divide at South Pass, doing so on July 4, 1836, which meant they had a head start. They were at Independence Rock before Independence Day. Straddling the Continental Divide, a single 2-track dirt road leads to a marker honoring Spaulding and Whitman. With a full head of white hair and a long beard, trail rider and historian Ezra Meeker, and boy is Ezra Meeker a story, and maybe I will talk about him in a future nugget. He is a spectacular character of the American West. Historian Ezra Meeker placed a large stone marker in 1906, a few feet from the other one, in remembrance of the Oregon Trail. Of all the trail sites I have seen, this particular place meant the most to me. Because the overlanders had different western destinations, the 3 main routes split at South Pass: the Lander Road, the Sublette Cutoff, established in 1844, and the Bridger Route, taken by the Mormons and the California Trail travelers. Using federal funds, government engineer Frederick W. Lander and his crew surveyed and built the namesake road between 1857 and 1859. Prior to federal development, the Lander Road was the route taken by the Whitman Ministry Caravan. Behind every name mentioned in trail history, there is a phenomenal story of the American West. I dedicated the Central Edition this way. This book is dedicated to stalwart individuals who ventured across the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains during the Great Migration. The hardships of the trail claimed the lives of 10% of those who set off on the action-packed journey of endurance. I especially want to honor Narcissa Prentice Whitman, Marie Dorian, Sacagawea, and Eliza Jane Meeker. These resilient pioneer women are to be admired for their strength and perseverance. The Oregon Buttes, the dark landform that is on the horizon to your left after turning onto the trail, roughly marked the immigrants' entry into the Oregon Territory. How exciting that was for them. To the south stand the Oregon Buttes, a major trail landmark. The name is significant because the Buttes were roughly the beginning of the Oregon Territory and also helped keep immigrants encouraged, even though there were still hundreds of miles of rough going ahead. Pacific Springs. For many immigrants, the first tangible evidence that they had crossed South Pass was Pacific Springs, the fountain source of the Pacific streams, according to pioneer Joseph Goldsboro Ruff. The broad expanse of the pass from Pacific Springs were proof that the journey to the Pacific coast was geographically half over, but the event was only a slight consolation. The road ahead was still long and hard. It's all a part of American history. Learn it, love it, appreciate it. Don't let them steal our history. Share our American history. And next Saturday, we'll be exploring life and death on the trail. Hope you watch the Saturday Travel and History Tips. And if you appreciate our content, tell others and repost on your social platforms. Thank you.